Hey, John. I think I have a good understanding of the kind of questions we asked and collected some good information from you. As we discussed on the phone, I wanted to kind of talk to you about our best-in-class program. Just like yourself and redeveloping your manufacturing facility, we've spent a lot of time doing some research to understand what the standards are in occupational health and what we do. And so we actually put together some roundtables throughout the country, and we wanted to get some feedback from our employers, from our clients, on what they look for, in a workers' comp program and what expectations they have from a provider. What we found out from those roundtables is that there was no clear solution. There were a lot of good ideas and some great feedback, but not a clean-cut set of instructions that we can share with other employers that are trying to develop their program. So what we did is we took the feedback from those surveys, from those roundtables, and reached out to the American College of Occupational Medicine, Syracuse University, and American Medical Association, got research from them, and then looked internally with our medical experts, with our medical providers, and put together a list, basically a top 10 list, if I can put it that way, of what an employer needs to have in place in order to have a best-in-class workers' comp program. And comparing to your situation, there were several things that you brought up that were that are in line with what employers are looking for throughout the country, and that's what we're finding. As we have meetings like this, I think employers have decent programs in place, and they're looking for what else is out there and what else can I do to enhance my program. You mentioned specifically that right now you have about 10 lost time cases per year, and you think that's high within your industry compared to the number of employees you have, and I tend to agree. And you don't have a relationship with your doctor, with your medical provider right now, where you can kind of sit down and really discuss those cases in a little more detail. Well, if you look here at these 10 must-haves of the specifics of the first three are really focused on that relationship part with the provider and yourself. Your provider should have a well-communicated plan from beginning to end of how they take care of their injuries and how they manage them through their process from beginning to end. And like yourself, if the case, or in your case, a few of them got sent out to a specialist and then you lost them and didn't know what was going on with them, well, your provider should help with that. He should have a plan in place working with yourself and your insurance company on where is that case going and when do I anticipate this case coming to maximum medical improvement. The other part is your physician should understand your business. Should have an understanding of what your employees are doing, what that modified duty may be, and what the potential ideas can be to help support that, along with having a provider that can educate your employees. You mentioned twice that the employees came back and said, there's no light duty, there's no modified duty, I have no modified duty, I have to stay home, I'm out of work. And if your provider is strong, he'll be working with your employee to understand why it's important to come back to work and to be supporting his livelihood and not just sitting home and watching TV. Along with those, there are 7 others that tie into different aspects of what a best-in-class program would entail. The next 2 are focused on how patients are treated. Employers are busier than ever, and employees are busy and they have less time, and convenience is a big deal. So you need a practice that is welcoming and desirable, as well as has a lot of services under one roof, so it's convenient and simple for your employees. Employers are expecting communication. You mentioned a few times that you get a phone call every once in a while from the provider, but it's not consistent. Employers not only want that phone call, employers are looking for an electronic communication system, automated system, whatever that may be, whether it's email or fax, something that's on their fingertips that can get over to them directly. And then employers are also looking for a report card. Not only do they want communication at the beginning, but they also want it on the back end. If I'm partnering with you, Mr. Provider, how am I managing my costs? How are you helping me? And I think that's very important, especially in this case here. You mentioned that your mod rate is 1.25, and you mentioned that your insurance company is working with you to help reduce that mod, and they said to continue partnering with your provider, and you feel like you've done a lot of that. Well, you mentioned twice that there was no way of knowing what your average cost per case was. There was no way of knowing what the length of case was unless you look at your loss run report. Your provider should be able to give that to you. And at the end, the last three pieces of the must-haves tie into the expertise. You want a provider that has open access to his doors, understands not only the regulations, OSHA, DOT, et cetera, but has a formal philosophy in what he does for his medicine and how that helps get employees back. And they have a focus on returning those people back to work. So this is the tool. I am going to leave this with you. It's absolutely free. From this tool, we actually re-looked at or reevaluated our own program. And what we learned out of our 300 plus centers is that we do a darn good job, but we don't do a consistently great job. So we took these must-haves and broke it out into 4 key strategies. And it's kind of logical. We have employer engagement. That's how we work together. We have patient engagement. That's how your employees are treated when they come into a Concentra. And then we have clear communications, which is our communication package to you and to your carrier and to any other supporting folks. And then lastly, we have the quality medical outcomes, which is the details of the medicine that we provide. We took those 4 keys, evaluated our centers, and started implementing these on a more consistent basis. And we continue to do that today. For the purposes of our conversation today, I think that the strongest key that ties into us benefiting you is the employer engagement. So I want to transition over to employer engagement and show you how our employer engagement strategy can help you with your goal of reducing your modification rating and reducing your lost time. Thank you.